Hello, International Youth Summit Transcend 2022. What a great pleasure it is for me to join you virtually at this time. My apologies for not being able to join you physically due to passport renewal issues. But I want to, at this point in time, thank Pastor Harvey, Bishop Feb, our dear Mama, Archbishop Margaret Idahosa. I do not take this privilege for granted. The topic I've been given to speak about today is importance of cyber intelligence in contemporary business times. My scope of coverage will be very basic. I'm not going to bother into the realms of intermediate or advanced. This is because of the time scope, just about 20 or 25 minutes. So we're going to be looking at internet, contemporary businesses and use of trendy technologies and related processes or practices. We're also going to be looking at the threats of the internet, and I will conclude on cyber intelligence, giving you a definition and also offering some examples of cyber intelligence too. Let's start with the internet. The internet is described as a global network of computers, network of networks. All our computers and related devices are connected to one another because of the internet. It is used for exchanging and communicating information. You can simply connect to the internet by Wi-Fi, broadband, leased line, satellite, DSL cable, etc. What keeps the internet growing is data. Contemporary businesses are data-driven. In fact, the lifeblood of any organization today is not finance, it is data. Organizations are constantly creating data. We have business data and also personal data. As a business, you will use technology to organize, collect, search, and report this data, either by having your own IT infrastructure, using cloud, or using a combination of both. Let's look at contemporary businesses and use of trending technologies and related processes. And at the end of this, you have to ask yourself, is my business contemporary? Mobile phones are now being used as encrypted access of connectivity to organizations, networks, and services. For example, you have online banking as an example. The mobile phone has also become a very powerful information retrieval device. For those of you who do a lot of Googling and searching, you attest to that. Bring your own device. Employee can bring in their own device to work, thus saving the organization some expenses. This is a growing culture. We also have web services and API, application programming interface. It's data interchange that enables automatic machine-to-machine data transfer, thus eliminating duplication of efforts. An example is your invoice. You send your invoice once from your system. It goes to the person who is going to pay you, the organization that is going to pay you. It goes straight into their system. They don't need to enter it manually before having to pay you. That's how powerful web services and API can be. Contemporary businesses are beginning to use, and in fact have been using for some time now, identity and access management system. And this is the process and technology that produces a secure and authorized access to both physical and digital resources. It enables authentication, authorization, accounting, while integrating with public key infrastructure for encryption of data. This is to ensure confidentiality, integrity, and non-repudiation. Hence, these days, multi-factor and biometrics access control are widely adopted in the production of international travel passport. The adoption of cloud technology is growing. And what does cloud technology mean? It translates to on-demand availability of computer resources without direct active management by the user. Virtual reality is becoming very popular. Computer-generated environments that appear real, now being used for training. What about the Internet of Things? You can be doing business in Ondo and at the same time able to use your IP camera to monitor your hotel business in Lagos. Tell me about QR code. I'm sure you must have heard about it. That enables the transfer of data to your phone by simply pointing your camera to the QR image. Contemporary businesses are beginning to fall in love with artificial intelligence. Example is the conversational assistant that pops up during your online transaction and inquiry, especially with your online banking. Smart organizations are using AI to introduce new business opportunities, identifying new revenue streams, enhancing the customer experience, and transforming business processes. Are you one of those organizations or businesses? What about Google Ad, which is now being widely used for automated advertising and marketing campaign? Very, very effective, I can confirm. We also have for some time now the open source software, where you do not require the purchase of licenses before usage. Contemporary businesses are now developing websites, improving their website, developing intranet and extranet for the public, employee, and partners respectively. They are adopting e-commerce, which means buying and selling processes being transferred to the internet. Even the government is not being left behind. The government is beginning to adopt e-government, public administration processes being transferred to the internet. The health services are also beginning to adopt largely e-health technology, where health services processes are being transferred to the internet. Even our universities, academies, training institutions are beginning to or have been adopting e-learning technology, learning and teaching processes being transferred to the internet. You will find a lot of contemporary businesses also using what we call intrusion detection system to protect their connection to the internet, their interaction with the internet. The intrusion detection system detects threats and sends an alert for remediation action to be taken. Intrusion prevention system, which is a sort of add-on to the intrusion detection system. The intrusion prevention system detects threats and prevents it from execution. You will have heard of firewall. Many companies are adopting the use of firewall, both on a small scale and on a large scale. The firewall helps to execute policies of inbound packets that are allowed or denied, outbound packets allowed or denied. Packets carry the data into and out of your network. So much about technologies, trending technologies, being adopted by contemporary businesses. Let's talk about trending processes, trending practices being adopted by contemporary businesses. You may have heard of data protection regulations. We have these regulations in the EU, we have it in the UK, we also now have it in Nigeria. In Nigeria, I think is since 2019, Section 37 of the Nigerian Constitution. On the whole, the data protection regulation defines the data controller, the data processor, the data subject. All this is because of the increase of data creation on the internet and the use of the internet. The processor must have adequate security in place. The processor must report data breaches to the controller without delay. Personal data must not be kept for more than necessary. The data protection regulation also stipulates rules on transfer of personal data to foreign countries. And for those who take delight in breaking the law, the regulation is quite clear with respect to fines for breaching the regulation, both in the EU, the UK, and in Nigeria. Let me talk about cookie. You would have noticed the regular pop-ups on visiting new websites requesting you to partially or fully accept a cookie. This is because the laws of many countries require that website must let you know when cookie is used and your consent is required for it to be used on your browsing of the website. You may accept all cookie, reject all cookie, or set your preferences of what cookie you want to accept. Cookie is a small text file on your computer created by a website to store information about your visit and the duration of your visit. The information it collects doesn't enable anyone to identify you personally. One example of cookie used on websites by many organizations is the Google Analytics to count how many visits over a year, 24 hours, or within a minute. Cookie enables the website to remember things you have specifically selected during browsing in order to enhance the efficiency and performance of your browsing. Privacy statements are other trending practices within contemporary businesses. If you collect personal information about a data subject as a business, you are required to have a privacy statement regarding how you use this information and how long the information is kept and why. The privacy statement will contain the rights of the data subject, who should be able to request access to the information, request it to be erased, or request a correction of the information held. It must also identify who the data controller is, while providing details of the data protection officer. And of course, it has to provide the legal basis for processing personal data. I've been doing a lot of talking. Now I'm going to give you perhaps just a couple of seconds with this task. List 5 new technologies, related trends you are familiar with. Could be technology, could be practices, could be processes. A tip is what I've just presented. List 5 items. I hope you have done some listing, and I'm now going to continue. Let's talk about threats of the internet, threats that are inherent in the use of the internet. Malware. This is malicious software that seeks to compromise your system. Phishing is an attempt to gain sensitive information while posing as trustworthy. Ransomware. Here, the cyber criminal maliciously encrypts your data and then demands for a ransom to help you decrypt the data. Hacking. Gaining unauthorized access to IT systems from outside organizations, for example, to bank accounts and credit card database. You will be amazed at the information available on the internet that can be used as stepping stones to hack systems. We also have the adversarial information retrieval risk. Example is spam related to web search. You are searching innocently on websites, on Google, and then somebody is planting a spam so that when you click or do a search, instead of just getting information, you're actually downloading spam. Yeah, those are threats on the internet. Another task is for you to list maybe 5 cyber attacks you have experienced or knowledgeable about. I hope you've been able to write down some. Now I'm going to conclude with cyber intelligence definition and examples. Cyber intelligence definition, it's defined as tracking, collecting, analyzing, reporting, alerting, and countering of digital security threats. Examples of sources of cyber intelligence. Vulnerability scanning. You can achieve this by installing it and running the software on your computers, databases, networks to report any security lapses. Another source of cyber intelligence is through cybersecurity risk assessment or audit. You can also get cyber intelligence or cybersecurity intelligence through penetration testing, which involves simulating hacking on your IT systems. You can get cyber intelligence through news media and magazines. For example, recently we got news on a magazine about about how the Albanian government was hacked. Their information systems were hacked, and therefore all their information systems were shut down. We can acquire cyber intelligence through collaborations. Multi-agencies information sharing is imperative as opposed to working in silos. For example, police should share information with military, EFCs should share information with Navy, etc., etc. Another important source of cyber intelligence is digital forensic. Following a digital crime, digital evidence from hardware or software can be retrieved for law enforcement and judicial agencies. And the father, or do I dare say the mother of them all in recent times, as a source of collecting cyber intelligence or cyber security intelligence, is what we call Security Operating System, SOC for short. Security Operating Center, rather, is a centralized function in an organization which comprises of people, processes, and technologies to continually monitor and improve an organization's security posture while preventing, detecting, analyzing, and responding to cyber security incidents. SOCs, while performing its function, we regularly give you reports. So it's got dashboards. Let's see some of the items reported on the SOC's dashboard, which invariably is cyber intelligence. It will report summary on malware, which is basically the number of infections. It's going to report the number of infections, computer infected, users, malware type, malware names. It will also report on the activity of your firewall summary. It will give you information about the packet inbound that is allowed, the source country, the source IP, the destination port. Still on firewall summary, it will report on inbound packet deny, the source country, the source IP, the destination port. Apart from inbound allow and inbound deny, it gives you information on outbound allow in terms of packets, outbound deny in terms of packet. Also, it gives extra information about the source country, the source IP, the destination ports. As I said the other time, packets are the means by which data is conveyed into your network, out of your network, into your computer, out of your computer. SOC will also report on account management summary. Accounts curated, deleted, enabled, disabled, locked out, etc., etc. It will also give you an authentication summary, successful logons, failed logons, admin logons. I'm not sure if you heard about proxy. Proxy is usually the intermediary between the users in a company and their access to the internet. The SOC dashboard will report on proxy summary. It will, for example, give you top 10 users, top 10 website visited, malicious website access and actions, malicious files downloaded and actions. It will also give you email summary. For example, top 10 senders of email, top 10 recipients of emails, top 10 sender domain, top 10 mail blocking and reason why they were blocked, malicious attachments and actions. It will also give you the threat intelligence summary in terms of inbound and in terms of outbound packets or attempts. You can now agree with me that SOC is actually the mother or father of them all. Now, I've given you quite a few lists of sources of cyber intelligence or cyber security intelligence. I'm going to now give you a task, and this is task 3. In the face of an evolving global cyber threat landscape, what protective measures do you intend to put in place for your personal or business protection? Thank you very much, and I'm happy you've been able to listen to me or listen to the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the summit.